Okay, so the final tutorial for exercise 2. This work looks great. You provided some really good numbers, did some great number crunching, ready for analysis and so on. I want to show you how to graphically represent some of this data. Now, humans, of course, if we look at nice looking lists like this, we're good at pinpointing certain things, but we can't really spot trends, ups and downs, highs, lows, or comparisons between two numbers, for example, 2015 versus 2019 quantity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to graphically represent that through a graph, or what we call a chart. And I'm going to do two of them. One is quite a simple one, and one is it gets a little bit out there. It's a little bit more complicated. So if you can do both, you can pretty much do any types of charts that you'd like. So let's start. First of all, I want to do a pie chart that shows me all the product names and how much each product had in terms of 2015 net quantity. So step one is to highlight everything that you want to see on the chart. So in this case, from A3 to B9, right? Highlight it, go to the top, and you're going to see the Insert tab. Click it, and your chart box is over here. So you could choose one of these charts automatically, or click on this little arrow in the corner, and it will show you a variety of different options. And you click on the All Charts tab, and you'll see that there's column graphs, there's line charts, there's pie charts, there's bar graphs, area graphs, and so on. You don't have to worry too much about the stock, surface, radar combo we'll look at later. The most common one, I think, in business is the column, right? So if you go to column, that's probably the most common one. You've all seen it before, and you certainly can make changes to it. But because we only have one data set, and we want the reader to be amazed, so to speak, by the colors and the shapes, and be able to pinpoint highs and lows, we're going to choose a pie. Okay, so click on pie, and when you go to pie, you get several options, right? So if you're not sure which option to choose, then just stick with the first one. And don't do the donut. Donuts look good, but unless you make them quite large and you've got a really good printer, they're okay. Don't you can try it later on. We're going to do this pie here, and you just click OK, and you get an instant pie chart, right? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to click in the white space. I'm going to delete it. I'm going to show that to you again. So highlight the information you want to see. Go to the Insert tab, and in my case, I'm just going to go straight to pie and the first one, right? Same thing. Now click in the white space, move it out of the way to wherever you want, drag and drop it. And I think that's the right size. Now you notice it's showing me all the product groups and the 2015 net quantity. So first thing I could do is click on the title, and I could change it, right? So you can highlight it, change the font, change the color, the size. I'm going to put the word quantity at the end. And you could also move it around. So if you don't want it there, just click on the edge. You see the four arrows, just move it around. There you go. You can do whatever you like with it, right? Now, in terms of this, here's what I'd like to do. I want to click on this purple slice here, right? So I'm going to click on this purple slice here, and you see they're all selected. So whatever it is you do is going to happen to the entire chart. So I don't want to do that. I just want to work on this purple slice here. So I'm going to click on it again. You see what happened? Only that one is selected. Now take it, click your mouse, and just drag it out. Okay, so that shows the reader that out of all this data, the purple one, which happens to be TrueFair, is special, right? Now the other thing I'm going to do is just click out here for a second, right-click inside here, and do Add Data Labels, and let's add data labels, right? And what that does is it's going to put, depending on the type of chart, it's going to put one or the other number. In this case, it's putting the actual quantity here. But I'm going to right-click again and format data labels, right here. And I'm going to choose percentage and get rid of value. So that's going to show me just the percentage that each slice represents out of the total. And I don't actually want to see the value because it's up in the data table anyways. So a few other options that you can set here are, where do you want that number? Do you want it inside in the center, inside, outside the end, best fit? So have a look at these, and I'm going to put mine in the outside end. And let's close this box. So click out here, and if you wanted to, you could always move each one of these just by clicking twice, wherever you like. And you could change the color, you can change the font. So if I wanted my readers to see that this one is special, just highlight this, change the font to red, maybe bold it, and of course now I'm helping my reader notice a few things. And you can always take things like the legend here, you can put it over to the right if you like. Make sure you make it bigger and smaller as you need to, kind of like this. And there we go. So you customize your chart accordingly. Now the other thing you could do is change the colors of any one of these slices here. So if I don't like this red, I could click on it again, and on the top you want to go to the Format tab, right? So keep your eyes on Design, which gives you a few options, or Format. And I'm going to choose Shape Fill and make it true red right there. And I'll show you something interesting. If you had a logo, for example, for Galbar, which is the red slice, you can also fill that slice in with the logo. And I'll just play around with the picture here. So I'll go to Shape Fill, go to Picture, and I will just browse. I'll go to my desktop, and I'm pretty sure there's a picture of the Sencall company here. Okay, so I'll put that in. And you see that there's a logo inside there. Now, obviously, it's not the right resolution, whatever. You want your graphics people to work on that. So I'm just going to undo that, and we have a pretty good chart. Now I'm going to do a second one, and we're going to do a mix of a graph. We're going to mix some column and some lines together. And this time I want to see everything from 2016 quantity and 2019 quantity. So it'll be 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019. Now there's a couple approaches to this. First of all, we do want the product name, right? Highlight those. 2016 quantity, 2017 quantity, 2018, and 2019. Now that's okay. It probably will work, but there are many cases where it won't. Excel won't recognize things in between depending on if you have words in between or not. So the better way to do it is not that. The better way to do it is this. Highlight the product names, 2016 quantity, 2017, 2018, and go all the way to 2019. So there's stuff in between I don't want, but we're going to get rid of it later, right? And this is the cleanest way to do it. So I have everything I want, and then some stuff I don't want. So go to Insert. Let's do the column right up here, right? And let's do the first one. Now, take a look at the chart. So it's kind of small, so I'm just going to move it over here. I'll move it outside to the bottom later on. Make it a bit bigger. That looks okay, but it looks weird too. So the next step is you go to the top where it says Switch Row Column. Click it, and you're going to see that that looks a lot better. So you've got all your product groups at the bottom, and you've got a lot more data in here that you don't need. So the next step is to click the Select Data option up here, and you're going to start removing one by one the things you don't want. So what don't I want? I don't want 2015, so remove. I don't want sell price. I don't want rating. I don't want allowance. And I don't want this rating. Now look, you're left with 2016, 17, 18, and 2019 quantity. That's exactly what you want. So click OK, and that chart looks pretty darn good, right? So, a couple of things. I want to change all of these bars, which would be 2018, which is orange, to a different color. So look what I just did. Click on one of the orange bars, right-click, and change the fill right there. And we'll change it to black. Now alternately, you can also go up to the Format tab and change it there, right? Now let's say I only want to change this particular green one, which would be for Galbar. I just click on that, click on it one more time, so only that one is selected. You see? Look, if you click it, all of them are selected, all the green ones. Click it again, go to the top to Format tab, and change the fill to, let's say, red. So that kind of stands out. Now the other thing I'd like to do is take this color here, the purple one, and I'm going to change that completely to a different style, right? So click on that, see they're all selected, right click, change series chart type, and we're going to choose a combo. So combo simply means a combination of one or more types of charts. So we can just click this one, it'll give me lines plus columns. But if you go down here, you can choose individual data sets to reflect different column types. So now have a look. We're going to keep this as clustered column. 2018, change that to a column, and we'll keep 2019. Actually, you know what? Let's change this to a column and make 27 a line. There we go. So click OK, and I get a pretty good chart. So I can now click on this line, go to the Format tab, and change the line color, which is right over here. And I could change it to, let's leave it as black, and go back, wait, and make it a bit thicker, maybe even dotted by using style, dashes, whatever you like, right? So I'm going to change it to just a little bit thicker, and I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to change the chart title. Right now it doesn't make any sense, and we'll say 2016 to 2019 projections. And in brackets I'll put quantity. Shipped. There we go. Now you could also right click on this axis. So the axis is made for you automatically based on the lowest and the highest numbers. But if you'd like to change it, you just right click on it and you go to Format Axis, and you can now tell Excel what the minimum and the maximum amount will be, and how do you want the breakdown. So right now it's broken down by 200 thousands, but I could easily break it down by, let's say, 100 thousands, right? And see what that does for you. So let's see. Click outside, and it just makes it a bit easier to read, I suppose. Get rid of this. And you also want to make the chart a little bit larger if you're going to be doing something like that. There we go. So I'm going to right click on any one of these bars and go to Format Data Series, and you kind of want to play around with some of these options, but let's see. So what's the gap? There's no gap in between. Let's just set that a little bit higher, or sorry, a little bit lower, I suppose. And then maybe play around with the series overlap. So you don't know what's going to happen until you actually try it. You see what's happening? It's giving me that little gap, and I think that looks pretty decent right there, right? So let's close that. And again, if you want to see the labels for these items, let's do the black one. You right click on it, go to Add Data Labels, and it gives you the numbers, right? If you right click again, Format Data Labels, you now have some choices. So percentage is gone in this case, but I don't want to show leader lines. We'll just choose the values, and let's have a look. So that looks pretty good. I can certainly take these numbers and just kind of move them out of the way a little bit higher, make it look a little bit cleaner. Okay, so you want to play around with these different functions, and you can now copy and paste this chart into PowerPoint or Word if you like. And also, just to let you know, as these numbers appear changed, the chart will automatically update. So you want to kind of have some fun with that. In fact, just one last thing. You can also put titles on the y-axis, and in this case, the x-axis as well. So if you click in the chart, go up here to Design, you can also go to Quick Layout, and I think there's a number of good ones, right? Layout number 5, I think number 9 is the most typical. So I'm going to choose number 9. I've got my main title. Let's look at my y-axis title, click and call this Quantity, QTY, and my x-axis title would be Product. So there we go. That looks pretty darn good. So let's have a look. I'm going to click here and just move it out of the way below the pie chart. And you've got a pretty good worksheet. You print this off. Your readers are happy to get the individualized data, but also charts to help them understand that data so they can move on to thinking about it. Okay, so have some fun with that, and we'll see you in the next exercise.